this morning on 7 a.m. Hello, good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. It is 7 a.m. Today is the 28th of May, 2021. And I have a eye doctor appointment today. They have to dilate my eyes. If anybody's in Jersey City and wants to hang out with me afterwards, just let me know because I'll be blind. I'll be walking around Jersey City like this for a little bit. I might actually just stop off at a diner or something and just eat a little bit because I hate that feeling. But it's not too far from my house, so it should be okay. But I will have to spend some time walking into things, which I do anyway, occasionally. It's part of my hobby, something I enjoy. All right, what are we talking about today? Well, somebody was asking me. This was a week ago. I wrote this down um, about a podcast, and they want to start a podcast. I think everybody should have a podcast. I think everybody has something valuable to say. Um, Everyone has something that they're good at, that they're an expert at, and it could be something you may not think is worth it. You may be an expert and you know everything there is to know about M&Ms. You know about how they make them. You know where they make them. You know the history of M&Ms. You love M&Ms. You talk to people about M&Ms. You try all the different types. You actually follow them on social media. You follow the company that makes the M&Ms. You know what kind of color, the numbers of the colors, the coloring. You know all of this information. You're an expert on M&Ms. Well, there's, believe it or not, you can have a podcast. You can have an actual show. You can talk about that, because then from that you can branch out to different kinds of candy but it's about M&Ms, but you can talk about the history of certain candies that kind of are similar to M&Ms. I mean, you can just go on and on and on just because you love M&Ms so much. Now, you can take anything in your life that you know a lot about and turn it into something that others do not know about, and they might become interested in it. So all you have to do is put it into a place, into a platform, and deliver it to an audience, and let the audience filter out. You'll filter out the ones that aren't interested, and the ones that stay is your audience. You know, and if you have something interesting to say, if you have something that you know a lot about, you can have a podcast. So I was telling this person how to do this, and I thought, hey, you know what? Why not put a show together specifically on just how to put a podcast together and what are the things that you need, um, and how easy it is, because it is really easy to do it today more than any time in the history of world. It's super easy to put together a podcast. Um, I mean, I remember when I was starting, I had to figure out so many different elements on podcasts, and I knew it was going to get easier, so I wasn't really too worried. But I knew it was, at the time, I needed like this little mixing board. I needed to connect to and record everything onto this mixing board, and then from there you have to put it into some kind of software, clean it up, and then you have to upload it to a platform that would accept it. Usually, the iTunes and stuff like that. And that takes a long process. I mean, it was a long process right now. Right now, I'm creating a podcast on 5 different platforms, including all the other ones. That's Spotify and iTunes and SoundCloud. And so I have my podcast appears on all of those as I'm filming this right now. My voice is going through this thing and creating. It'll have a podcast sent out to all these things. Now, after I get done with the show, obviously I have to download the audio part of this and then upload it to this one particular site that sends it out to all the podcast um, platforms, right? And but that takes me literally, it may take me like maybe 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes at the most to just download it. And usually when while it's downloading, because it takes only a few minutes, I'm checking my email and doing other stuff. So it's very, very simple today. And so why don't we get started here? If you are interested in starting a podcast and you want some of the pieces, get a pen and paper together and write these things down, because this isn't the only blueprint. This is my blueprint that I did, and this is what worked for me. You can actually tweak this to satisfy your own needs, or switch things around, or not do this at all. But this is just an idea. This is how I did it, that making it work. All right. So let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to do is you need a podcasting platform, right? Somewhere to put your podcast that you can manage it and you can tweak it, and you can add things to it and clean it up. And that account is bug. That account is called Anchor. Okay? So write that down, ANCHOR, Anchor. With Anchor, you can create your podcast right onto the platform itself, and from there it goes all to all the other platforms that host podcasts, which are iTunes, Spotify, of course, and all the other ones that I can't think of right now. There's so many different ones that I didn't even know exist, but my show runs on there. So Anchor is the first step. You're going to go onto Anchor. You're going to create an account. You're going to basically call your podcast whatever it's going to be called, right? You're going to write a description of your podcast, right? What's the podcast about? You're going to put a time in of when it's actually going to air. Now you have two options. You can record your podcast right onto Anchor itself, directly onto the platform. You hit an actual record button and you start talking. It's not live, it's just recorded. Once it's recorded, you create the episode and you're done. You write what the episode's about. You name the episode, whatever you want to name it. You put on the description. You put all the links that you want people to go to, and that's pretty much it. That's it. Now you're gonna need some graphics. You're gonna need simple graphics, nothing complicated. If you already have a graphic program and you know how to use it, how to make like little flyers and promo things and stuff like that. If you know how to do that already, then you don't need to. This part doesn't matter, but you do need to create like a little tiny flyer of some type that you're going to upload to your podcast. That's going to be relevant, and it's going to make your show look nice, right? So you're going to make nice graphics and stuff like that, right? The actual logo of the show, or not even the logo, but the photo, the picture, the icon, the avatar, right? All that stuff has to be made to look nice, right? So you can do that with this company here. If you don't have one, this company right here, I've been using them for a few years, and they're fantastic. Canva, they have a lot of templates on it. Um, Most of it you can do a lot of free stuff on this. The ones that you have to pay for are very just maybe $1 if you really like something that you want to use. You can also do the monthly, which is what I do. I think it's about $12 a month that I pay, and it gives me the whole platform, and I have so much options on this, and that's how I make pretty much everything on my show. That's how I made this thing back here, and all these. I don't know if I have anything. This thing right here for my other show, I made that there. I made this logo there. All these things, I made this there for my last show. All these things that I make through Canva. So get an account on Canva. You can use the free version to make a lot of stuff that will get you started. You don't have to pay one dime. By the way, Anchor is also, you don't have to pay anything to start. Just start doing a podcast. Just start. Literally, just start. And then where are you going to promote this, right? Where do you want to? Obviously, it's going to go on to Spotify and all those other platforms, but you got to let people know about it, right? And the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to where your friends are. So where do you interact the most with your friends? Is it on, if it's on Facebook, I think Facebook is still a great platform for interacting with people and letting people know about what you're working on. Um, so you would go onto Facebook and promote your podcast. First, promote it to people that know you. Promote it. Hey, I just started a podcast. It's about M&Ms, and you know how much I love them. In case you're interested, check it out. It's at this time, and here's the link. Boom. You do that. And do that every couple of days. You post it in there. You send it directly to your friends on a private message. You say, "Hey, just wanted you to support my new podcast that I have here. I hope you can do that. And just send it off to them. Okay, so that's number three, I guess, on things to do. Now, if your podcast has some kind of a controversial issue, like any kind of a political thing, if you're not on the side of Facebook, like on they lean more left, they have more restrictions. If they don't like what you're saying, they'll block you. They're not a free, open thing for you to communicate, right? They don't really follow the Constitution in that area, which is, it's their right, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want, right? That's why they do it. That's why they can block you, and not allow you to communicate freely. But if you don't, if you do want to communicate, if you're talking about political stuff and things like that, which I used to in the past, and I do have a page where I post all that stuff, then you can check it out. It's called How About This. But if you don't want to do that on your personal page or on your podcast, then you can go to a company like a platform like Bitshoot. Bitshoot allows you to openly communicate things that you want to communicate without censorship, right? So that's what you can do on with using Bitshoot, if you want to do that. If your conversation's about M&Ms or about how much you love pie, or maybe you're a lawyer and you want to give some legal advice, maybe you're a doctor or a medical professional, or maybe you are a nutritionist and want to talk about nutrition and vitamins and health, whatever that stuff is, you can definitely start a podcast. Also, if you're good at the gab, if you're just good at talking, you know if you're good at, somebody gives you a subject and you know a little bit about it, whatever it is. I don't have anything here, but whatever it is, you're talking about computers, you're talking about speakers, you're a musician. You're obviously, if you're a musician, an actor, anything in the entertainment industry, you should definitely have a podcast, because you live a life that not a lot of people live, right? It's a risky business. It's a business that has a lot of ups and downs, and that can make for good content. When you're explaining to people how these things work, right? So as you progress and you start your anchored page. You write it, you create an account, you start your podcast, you do your first one, you record it, you put it up. Now what? Now it's going to give you the link, right? Well, first you should create a nice little flyer or a nice little promotion for it. You could have your picture on it and the name of the podcast. You could be looking up at the name Eminem King, right? And that'll be like your poster for the flyer, right? Your promo. Once you do that, then you go on here, you create that account, then you have to promote it either on Facebook. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Twitter, you can go on Instagram. You should go on all of those anyway, just letting people know about your podcast. That should be a consistent thing. Again, if you have controversial issues and you don't, and Facebook's not going to allow you to post things that they don't like, go to Bitshoot. Bitshoot is open, very free, and they allow you to communicate freely with no censorship. And once you get a little bit more advanced and you figure these things out, then you might want to be able to do what I'm doing right now, which is I'm filming this on 5 platforms that are live. I'm recording the audio that I'm going to download and put it onto Anchor, later as soon as my show is over. I already created all these things. I promote it on Facebook. So I do all these things. I go live on Facebook. I go on right now we're live on no, I'm sorry, on three Facebook pages, right? My personal page, my fan page, and my I Love Bayonne page, right? Those are my three Facebook pages that you're seeing this right now live. At this time right now, it's 7:15 on May 28th, right? Um, as soon as I get done with this, is when I download the audio only. There's two sections. You can download the full video of myself, but why would I do that? Because it's already on YouTube also, and I'm on Twitch and the Facebook, so I don't have to really do that. So I just get the audio, and then I upload the audio only to Anchor because Anchor is only audio. Remember, it's podcast. It's only for voice. So once you start doing all that and you want to kind of get to this level where you start doing that, then you can go onto a company called Streamyard. Now I don't know why I took this picture and not the Streamyard, but anyway, the company is called Streamyard, and I'll write it over here so you can just see. And this company has been around for a little bit, and I use them for all my shows. Streamyard. Create an account on StreamYard. There is a monthly there, you do have to pay. So that's why it becomes more of a little bit of an investment. But with it, you can actually go and do your show, and then your show goes live on Facebook, it goes live on YouTube and on LinkedIn. I'm still having a little bit of issues with the LinkedIn getting live on there, but I'm working on that. There was a problem with the connection between StreamYard and LinkedIn. So, but Facebook and YouTube, you can go live on these platforms directly, and that's when you get a little bit more advanced, and it doesn't take much because I'm telling you that once you do 10 episodes on Anchor, you're kind of like there. And if you have the money and you think, you know what, I want to invest a little bit more, maybe you want to interview guests, which is what I started with, right? I started, and I still do that. Every Friday nights I have a show called 7 p.m. This is 7 a.m., right? Um, but I have a show called 7 p.m. where I interview guests from all over the place, and it's Eastern Standard Time. And I have a show tonight, and tonight I'm going to be interviewing the band Break Time. Very excited about that. And so, um, once you start getting more comfortable with just actually speaking, then you can actually do something like a StreamYard and start expanding on it, especially if you figured out, oh wow, you know what, I really love this. This is actually helping people. I want to talk about, you can also talk about religion, you can talk about spirituality, you can talk whatever it is that you're interested in. You can actually have a conversation, and you can have a podcast on, so why podcasts? Well, reaching people in 2021 has never been easier. Just reaching people, right? In the old days, you had a business, you were telling people about your business, you had to put ads in newspapers, you had to already have word of mouth because you've been around for a long time. Well, that goes away. And actually, that has gone away, right? So, people who are not on the internet consistently promoting themselves, promoting their business, do not exist. People will say, "Oh, well, that's not really, I don't like that. I don't like that idea." All right, well then you don't exist to majority of the people. You have your business, and then maybe it's a small business, and you can maintain that way when you don't need social media. That's totally fine. Now, some people want to expand their business. They want to actually expand it to where they can actually hire more people and create more jobs and make more money and provide more for their family and all these things, right? Well, creating a podcast will give you immediate reach to people that you just never really could have a conversation with. You could also take questions on your podcast on this here. If somebody right now were here and they were to ask me a question, I'd be able to respond to them right now. That's a very powerful tool, to do that. So let me get rid of this StreamYard here. If anybody has any questions, or if you need any information more on the podcasting, please, you can always email me at John Henry Soto at protonmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to do a conversation like this, we can do a Zoom call or whatever kind of a conversation on the phone, or if you're local, we can meet for coffee, and I will help you start your podcast. The thing that you have to really really do about this is you have to do it. There's no matter how much information I give you or you research, or if you don't just take that first step and just do it, you're not going to do it. So you have to kind of come with the viewpoint of like, okay, I'm just going to get some information and I'm going to do my first one. And your first one may not be that great, but it's the first one. Put it out. The second one will get better, and it'll get better. And you could even talk about that. I mean, I talk about that all the time. I'm like, I'm getting better at this. In the beginning, I was like, if you like this, please like and subscribe and share, and but you let people in on it, and let people in on your personality. And that's the final thing about the podcast, is that people will will very quickly get to know your personality, and you're more likely to buy from someone that you kind of feel than a complete stranger. Back in the old days, you had the yellow pages. I don't know if anybody under 20 is not going to know what this is, but there were these big giant fat yellow books, and they would drop them on our front of our house every, I don't know when it was, every month or something, or every once a year, I guess it was. Yeah, I think it was once a year. Big giant yellow pages, and in there was all the businesses that you can imagine anywhere in your area, right? You open them up and you're looking for a doctor. You look and you find a doctor. Boom, that guy is close to me. That's where I'm gonna go. You can't go on internet to find out if this person is still even in business, if they have bad reviews, if they're a terrible doctor. You don't have any information on this, right? um but today, you can just go on the internet, you Google, and you find out everything about a business right on there, including reviews, good and bad, and make your decision based on some actual facts, some actual research, right? Um, and this is such a great way, because when let's just say you're watching a podcast and you see a doctor with a podcast and you start following this doctor. When you have to go to the doctor, you're suddenly going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go to that guy because I've seen him. I kind of know him already. Follow him. I like him. I like his personality. I'm gonna go to that doctor. And so people are more likely to buy from someone that they feel they know a little bit better. And a podcast is a great way for your exposure, but also to let people know about your personality and your product in a very small amount of time. Your podcast does not have to be 23 minutes like this is right now. Your podcast can literally be 10 minutes. If you feel you have 10 minutes in you, do 10 minutes. And after that, you go to 15 minutes. And after that, go to 20 minutes. And then you can start a long format if that's something that you want to do. All right, folks, want to thank you so much for tuning in and for listening to this. I hope this helped. If you're interested in podcasting, definitely just please reach out to me at johnhenrysoto at protonmail.com. I will gladly help you get started with your podcast. I don't charge for this service. It's just me wanting people to communicate, and it's just something I'm passionate about. So, but yeah, it is Friday, so weekend is upon us. I think it's a holiday. It is a holiday weekend. It's where we remember people that have given their lives for us, for our country, and for our freedom, and for fighting for our Constitution. And it's a wonderful thing. So I want to just thank everybody for tuning in. God bless all of you. God bless America. Let's get corny here. Oh, it didn't work. Oh well. I was gonna do something, but it didn't work. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all on Monday morning, which is a holiday, but I'm gonna be here 7 a.m. if you're available. If you like these shows, please like, share, and subscribe, and let your friends know that there's this little Puerto Rican dude that likes to talk every morning at 7 a.m. Monday through Fridays, Eastern Standard Time, and talks about things that help people, hopefully, and possibly entertain as we go along. All right, folks, thank you very much. God bless you all. Take care. Make today great. Do the things that you love and take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.